Good morning. Welcome to Sativa Segment. This is Richard Cheng. Today, I have a co-host. His name is Daulton O'Neill. Moving forward, I think you will see Mr. O'Neill on the show more and more. But before we get started, I like to point out this wonderful studio that I'm in. It's certainly a different feel, but nevertheless, the substance is never to be compromised here on the Sativa Segment. Today, we're filming episode 15. We have today with us Ron McCormick, and we'll get into our discussion with Ron here in a little bit. But before we get started, I'd like to say that this episode is fueled by a newly formed law firm called Ritter Spencer Cheng. I am a proud one-third owner of the firm. It is a full-service law firm that is primarily focused on two industries, that being healthcare and alternative substances, covering cannabis, kratom, psychedelics, so forth. So it is a newly formed law firm here in Dallas, Texas, and just wanted to introduce the law firm to everybody that's watching the show.
It's right down the street from here. Right?
It is. It's really close.
North Dallas. Welcome to the show. Thanks, Richard. I'm happy to be a co-host, guest host for today with awesome Ron McCormick, big dog in Dallas, slanging up all the good products for a bunch of good brands. I'm excited to get into it.
Thanks a lot. It's wonderful being here, and knowing now that I have a good law firm locally to go to is pretty incredible
Ron.
too. So it's a 2-in-1 shot here. I love it.
Thank you.
Very excited about it for you.
Now, you and I met when I went to your office.
Correct.
Right, and this is obviously an introduction through Daulton here, but I want to talk a little bit about you as a person before we kind of dive into your company.
Okay.
We'll have plenty of time to do that. But tell me a little bit about you as a person.
We're going to dig into your heart, okay? We're looking for it.
Yeah, so my background is, my degree's in nutrition. I'm a nutritionist.
Okay, where did you go?
I went to an online school. I had to, because I had a business front, brick and mortar nutrition store / juice bar restaurant. Okay. So everything I had to do was online and through UNLV in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I've actually only been in the Dallas metropolitan area this last year. I moved here last July.
No kidding.
Yeah,
so you're a new Dallas.
Yeah, new
resident.
Dallas. Incredible. Love the Cowboys. I love the state. I love the governor. I love everything about this red state, I gotta say.
Okay.
Coming from a blue state.
They probably should have sent you to Fort Worth first. You know? It's like,
yeah, I'm trying to think, what is the most conservative city here in
well, Collin County is one of the most conservative counties.
Okay.
But state's just west.
Yeah, so Denton County is pretty conservative. Collin County is pretty conservative. Rockwall, definitely not Austin for Mr. McCormick here.
I think Dallas, and it's not a political talk show, but I think Dallas is the largest city in the country with a Republican mayor because he just switched.
Yeah,
and then Matty Parker in Fort Worth. So actually, we have the two biggest Republican mayors in DFW.
Wow.
You know.
That should be a sign. You said you just switched.
But the big cities, it's different. You know, the farther out in Texas you get is different. You know, in Dallas, we have different things we need here.
That's right.
You know.
So you're from Las Vegas.
Correct.
Okay, and you moved here about a year ago.
Correct.
And I know you come from like a wellness, nutraceuticals background.
Correct. Yeah. So my degree is nutrition. As a nutritionist, when I opened my very first store 30 years ago, I started researching nutritional supplements in the nutraceutical world and found that a lot of supplements were made, let's say, without any passion or real heart behind them. Okay. So I started developing products. I started developing liquid multivitamins. Okay. As we know, tablets, like you go into some of the grocery store chains, some of the big names, they're these hard rock tablets, and they're very low dosages. They're on 1940 FDA standards of like 60 milligrams vitamin C. Well, we know we need 1,000 to 5,000 milligrams. But a lot of these old style vitamins, that's all they put in there because people don't know any better. So as a nutrition store owner, I felt it was my duty to bring people real health and wellness nutritional supplements. So I started developing them. I started developing liquid multivitamins that actually absorb, they don't upset your stomach, mega doses, 1,000 milligrams vitamin C. Started using different B12s that actually absorb methylcobalamin instead of a cyanide form, cyanocobalamin, which in most forms are in most vitamins. So everything I did was started doing it in the right way it should have been done in the first place. But you got to remember, a lot of corporations, they don't care about what's in the product. They care about one thing. Bottom line. That's it. We know that. That's the
margins, huh?
The margins. They want to make something for 50 cents and sell it for $20. You know, I'm the opposite. I'll spend the $12 to make something to sell for $20. So a whole different concept. But because of that, I have a huge following in Las Vegas. I've been in business 30 years there with brick and mortar stores. I sell my products to other stores throughout the country, wholesale, retail, distribution. Since then I've also developed an alkaline vitamin water that we have a patent on. We have the only patented bottled water there is. It's called VitaNourish. It's alkaline and vitamins all in one. Tastes incredible. We sell it nationally. We're sold in little stores like Walmart, Casey's convenience stores, Big Lots,
What year?
CVS.
What year did y'all develop that water?
That was about 2014, I want to say.
Okay.
And that
Is it
brings.
still operational right now?
Oh yeah. We're growing. Everything slowed down with COVID. You know that. So
Sure.
we definitely took a big hit during COVID, but now we just picked up 1,100 CVS's. So we're Pepsi's a major
kidding.
distributor for us. Yeah,
Wow.
Pepsi
Who's
RSI.
Are you able to disclose who your distributor is?
Yeah, Pepsi's one of them. Pepsi
No
RSI.
kidding.
Yeah.
I would love some electrolyte vitamin mineral.
Tell me a little bit about that process. Like, how did you locate your distributor, and like, how do you get into like a distribution relationship? Because there's a lot of listeners out there who, whether they're in cannabinoids or whether or not,
You're right.
and getting into the right distribution relationship is not as easy as it sounds.
You just
right?
said the key word there.
Yeah.
Relationship.
Yep.
So it's about relationships, and that's where this whole business comes from where we are in the cannabis, hemp. It doesn't matter. It's water. It's about meeting the right brokers that have the connections with those markets. So you've got to go out and hit the shows, whether it's a Champ show or the NSF show. There's so many different shows out there, depending on what, there's the 7-Eleven shows. Depending on what market you're in, you have to go after the convenience store shows. So depending on what market you want to go into, you've got to go into those, meet the right brokers that can get you in front of the store chains to get the slotting. Because there's different allocations, different times of the year. Like right now is when everyone's deciding what they're bringing on for next year. So if you're not in there getting approved this year for next year, you're not going in. There's a lot of fees involved. There's payments. Sure. Sometimes you go to dinner, there might be $20,000 you leave in someone's coat pocket when they go to the bathroom. I mean, this is real. This is real life. When it's not always easy. There's payoffs everywhere. Even getting in store chains. It's a pay to play, business world. So unfortunately, that's how it is. But and some of these big companies, they have big hedge funds behind them. You look at, Vitamin Water. Remember Vitamin Water?
Yeah.
Sold for $4.4 billion, but they had big money behind them growing there. Core sold out a few years ago for $500,000.
Sure.
Keurig bottom, So there's some big business stuff going on, but a lot of these companies have big money behind them.
And
we're the small guys,
like Uber and all of that. They operated a lot to get market share.
Amazon, look at Amazon, prime example. So we're not that company. We're the guys that have used every dollar we have, and we're building it slowly and surely. But we don't have the big hedge funds behind us. So we do what we can as natural organic growth.
Were there different platforms or different storefronts that you found to be more profitable than others?
Definitely.
And how did you track that? I just had a curiosity.
It's all tracked by books. But definitely, you got your smaller chains. Like we belong to a store chain called Casey's convenience store chain out in the Midwest. They have about 24 to 2,800 stores, quite a few stores. So that was definitely a profitable situation for us when we were.
I lived in the Midwest.
So you know about Casey's, yeah. They're like number 2 in pizza.
I'm licensed in Minnesota. I lived in Minnesota for 3 years.
Okay, so great store chain. They did a lot for us. Pepsi made that introduction to us. They were actually a profitable chain. Then we've been in, chains where we had distributors that were such great distributors. They cut your throat. They dice up your, invoices. And I won't name any names, but, Kahi is one of the ones.
Well, there you go. You just named the name.
I'm just saying news here on the Sativa segment.
But when you're servicing like Walgreens and a lot of these big store chains, the unfortunate part is you can't sell directly to them. You have to go through their dedicated distributors for those areas. Right. And a lot of these chains, they don't have just one distributor. They have several distributors depending on the region. So it's not always an easy business to get into, to break into. And then you have the slotting fees. And this is, again, from hemp products to CBD products to, even THC products. There's always, especially when you see, I think in the future, when you see THC break into the big box stores as it legalizes, you're going to see a lot of the same stuff that we've had to deal with the water company. The great thing about it is I already have the experience in it, so we know what to do.
Right, it's just the ingredient. It's just the ingredient at the end of the day, depending on how it's regulated.
It's a different raw material. Yep.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you have a wealth of knowledge in the distribution nutraceuticals industry, and that obviously some of those skill sets translated into what you're doing now. I'm curious, how did you choose to get into the cannabinoid business?
Okay, so again, being very passionate about health and wellness.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not the guy that was growing THC illegally, selling it, all that stuff. I never even messed with THC at all.
Yeah, you look like a DEA agent.
Right.
So
Until it was legal, right?
Right.
I was the straight and narrow athlete guy that barely even drank. You know, my 21st birthday, I didn't even drink. You know, so I was always an athlete, worked out, health and wellness. Back in 2015, when after we'd started the water, we started finding all this information about how CBD was stopping children that were having 500 seizures a day. You remember back in Florida and stuff, you know? We were talking about that earlier.
Well, that's actually how the Texas Compassion Use Program kind of got a lot of support from the Texas residents. Well, around the time when Senate Bill 339 was proposed, we had a 70% approval rating here in Texas because of seizures for kids, right? I mean, how do you argue against kids who are suffering from seizures? So
that was the only condition that was approved the first time Texas had a medical program in
Really?
2015. Yeah, we won't spend a bunch of time on it, but that's intractable epilepsy was the only condition approved for like 5 years almost.
Well, it was approved. It was passed June 1st of 2015, and then 17, not much movement occurred, and then 2019 they added 7 additional qualifying conditions. But again, it goes back to the kids and the seizures, and that's how you originally got. You know, how Texas originally got really the
first medical program.
Really? Yeah.
That's right.
So hearing that, I'm like, wow, if this is really helping with that, let's start. And this is before President Trump came in and passed the Farm Bill in 2018. So we're way before this. We're 3 years before this in 2015.
Right.
So then because we're already in the water business, we developed a hemp water. We couldn't call it CBD water because no one could take it because it would be illegal. So we developed a hemp water that had CBD in it, which helped people with these seizures and stuff. And it was nanotized. It was a very great tasting. A lot of CBD waters at the time were real nasty. We have, again, with our technology, because we're a technology-based company with our patent, we were able to do a technology-based hemp water, CBD water that actually tasted good. They didn't have little floaties in it and stuff like that, like a lot of them. So that's when we started. 2018, 3 years later, Farm Bill gets passed. We start going hardcore into it. And we're talking back when a kilo of isolate from Switzerland was $30,000.
Oh my God! How much was the isolate?
$30,000 a kilo.
You said 2018? 2018?
Yeah, correct. So,
well, that's why so many companies were profitable selling isolate back in the 17, 18 era.
And that was before the alternative cannabinoid movement. CBD was like it.
That was it.
Yeah, CBD was kind of the...
Well, even CBD, when it was... I mean, if you guys remember, when CBD came out, it was still kind of taboo. Right? For a couple of years, and because nobody knew what it was.
There's a meme, the Simpsons meme, with Bart writing on the chalkboard, CBD is diet weed, and just rewriting it if you've seen that meme, and it's like, well, they're not really wrong. It doesn't get you high, but it is a calming effect.
So what happened at that point is we started developing, buying the overpriced, expensive CBD, making little things like tinctures, treats, stuff like that, gummies, started doing gummies. And again, I was contract manufacturing all this out, because again, I have been doing contract manufacturing through different manufacturers all my adult life, from liquid multivitamins to water to proteins, pre-workouts. I've developed over 200 different SKUs in my 30-year career. So we're developing these different products into the CBD market space. I'm able to test market the products through my retail stores and get firsthand feedback to see what kind of results people are getting. And we're having people with Parkinson's, their shakes are stopping. We're having all these seizures stopping. I mean, pretty incredible results happen. Okay, so this is 2018. So me and my partners that I currently am partnered with at our Dev manufacturing plant here in Irving, Texas, we raised some money and we put some money in and started a processing plant up in Oregon. So we actually would take the hemp plant, process it into the crude, to the distillate, to the isolate, and then we would sell that raw material. Now, when we got into it, the price had dropped from $30,000 down to $6,000. But then it kept going and going and going. And pretty soon
Still going.
It's still going. Now you can buy it for about $250. So went from $30,000 to $250. It's a huge difference. Yeah. So it's really not a very profitable situation to be taking hemp to these types of forms and raw materials unless you're doing huge amounts. I mean, you have to have a huge operation and and overhead for most companies. That's why a lot of them went out of business.
And I want to note one thing: in all the parts of hemp, the place where you can die is extraction.
Yeah.
Like, that is dangerous. Like,
Yeah.
so that's the one thing.
It's a dangerous process.
If it's
for
the
sure.
one part you can get out of, I'm a big advocate for that. It's like, especially people trying to do mobile extraction stuff in body shops. Sorry, it's just that always, it's to be noteworthy. It's not the safest.
No, you have to have explosive-proof rooms. We invested a lot of money in
Especially
this.
SOPs aren't like at the top of mind for a lot of people.
Yeah, so it's a big deal. So what we did is we stopped doing that. Now we just process and we do conversions now. We converted to the Delta 8. We started doing that instead.
Yeah, do you do the conversions yourself, or do you?
Yeah, we do it on plant instead of taking the hemp plant, which and doing all the different processes. It's just not worth the money.
Sure.
So now we just do the conversion for the Delta 8 for our own use only. We don't even sell the raw material. We just use it in our manufacturing plant for like our gummies, and we can use it for tinctures or whatever else as well.
Now, are you getting the raw materials from a third party somewhere else before you do the conversion, or?
Correct. Yeah, we just buy the isolate.
That's right.
Yeah, instead of doing the isolate ourselves, we just buy the isolate because you can buy it for $250, a kilo. So it doesn't make sense to go through all that process, to have all those employees and all that overhead, and it's just not.
Now, is the conversion process is that an expensive process? Is it expensive?
Nope.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all.
So essentially, your margin still can be preserved because you have low overhead, low cost of conversion, and of course, the CBD raw materials, the isolate is still relatively cheaper now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Makes a big difference. So, and then when we manufacture it, we know what's in it, how clean it is. We have to third party test everything. We're a GMP standard company, so everything we do has to be micro tested. We test for every type of toxic, poison, chemical there is. We go through and it's a $500 test. This is like a cheap test. We spend probably $40,000 a month just testing raw materials and finished products out of our lab. So everything's tested before and it's tested again afterwards. Okay. When we put a finished product through our manufacturing plant. And again, being in this industry for 30 years, you would never want to put a product out to the marketplace that might be toxic or poisonous to customers.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of liability behind
Catch a case.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
your GLPO policy is going to go up in premiums if something happens.
Yeah, well, insurance is high enough as it is already, right? And then who wants to have that in their conscience? Who wants to have someone getting deathly sick or a possible death and stuff like that? So it's very important. And then also, it can cost you a lot of money because now you have to do recalls. So you don't kill someone. Now you got to recall this product. So you got a big chain store that you're in. Now you got a huge expense.
So you got a scarlet letter over here.
Yeah.
Right. And you guys are nutraceutical based. So you folks, it's interesting. Ron comes in as like nutraceutical instead of just straight cannabinoid. I wish I'd documented more. I went to like 5 different meetings over the last 4 years looking for a GMP gummy facility in Dallas. There were so many days I woke up, hey, Daulton, I finally found one. I'm going to come. I would drive there. It's not there. It was like this mythical thing. Then I pulled up to where Ron in the morning. I was like, wow, I think I even told you. I think I told you I was driving. Like, we'll see if it's actually real or not. And then we get there.
No, which by the way, your plan is really impressive.
Right, like if you're looking at Ron, you think he's hawking gummies over here, but it's like, no, Ron's facility makes these gummies, and they're solid.
I saw firsthand of everything that was going on behind the scenes, and it was quite impressive. But let's do a pivot to your company itself. Now, you're the CEO, developer, and co-founder of Dev Manufacturing.
Correct.
Tell me about how you decided to launch Dev and who you decided to partner with. Is there capital behind it that's funding it?
Yeah.
And why y'all chose Dallas to be here? Because you could be.
Yeah, you could have been in Las Vegas, right?
We were. Actually, we were. We had a manufacturing plant in Las Vegas that we had bought that was previously manufacturing for us. The problem there was they killed the D8. So they made our number one seller illegal. Yeah. So we said, heck with this. Let's move to Texas because now they're opening it up in Texas. D8 was legal here. D9 is legal. All the cannabinoids are legal.
Yeah. And God's blessed Texas.
God's blessed Texas, the second largest state in the country. It's a red state.
Had to throw that in.
It's not God blessed Texas. It's God blessed Texas.
That's right.
For now, at least.
So we, me and my partners, we took a look at it. One of the partners who has a mechanical background, he was searching for manufacturing facilities. So we found one in Grapevine. Long story short, we ended up purchasing that facility.
Christmas capital of the Western Hemisphere. Grapevine. Right? Anyway, keep going.
Is it? So we purchased that. We outgrew it in a year's time.
When you say you outgrew it, what do you mean by that?
We had more orders than what we could produce.
Okay.
So we
you
were
needed
actually
more space so you can produce more
product.
volume.
Yeah, we were we had it maxed out, and we were actually having to use other manufacturers to keep up with our demand. We my one partner, incredible, guy with relationships, and brought huge amounts of sales in. So Chris Martin, he did an incredible job. And then my other partner did a great job of putting the manufacturing equipment together and making sure the gummies are perfect. Like when you try a gummy, number one, it tastes incredible. Number two, it's vegan. There's no chemicals in it. It's consistent. It tests out every time. The texture is incredible. When you bite into it, you're like, oh, this is a nice, incredible gummy. And that's again why we have a lot of converted business. People leave other manufacturing plants once they try ours. They see how we test it, how we're always. And then we offer stuff that other companies don't, like we do the blister packs. We have the whole packaging line where we fill them. See, in our old plant, we didn't have any packaging. All we did was manufacture, and we had to outsource all the packaging. Well, now you got to take the gummies, box them up, ship them over, ship back, or ship them out from there. We're losing a lot. We're leaving a lot of money on the table. So we took and we invested a lot of money, got another loan, millions of dollars to upgrade our facility to 30,000 square feet. Sure. Now we have a nice, big, huge facility with 4 machines, not 2 machines, state-of-the-art machines, and packaging. Okay, so now we can manufacture it, we can package it, and this year we added the 3PL. Now we ship it. Yep. So now we're an A to Z company. So we have taken some of the biggest brands in the country where they had their distribution plant out in, say, Florida. They were able to shut that down, and now they concentrate on just marketing. And now their increase in sales is 20, 25% within a short 6-month period of time, because that's all they have to focus on. They don't have to focus on employees and what's the shipping issues and this, that. We take care of all that for them. So now they're able to just say, hey, we're able to fast track and keep track of everything they have, because we can say, hey, look, you're getting real low on this one item. Our customers, I don't know, they probably have 30 plus SKUs with us. So we're saying, oh, you're getting low on this, okay, manufacturers. So we're able to stay on top of their products for them to make sure they don't run out. So and we help them with the packaging. We got packaging companies that are really quick in getting the bags printed, boxes, whatever it is. So again, we're A to Z. We're here to help the customer. And again, our customers were small, and we got one customer. That company now is over $100 million value. So we start with the small companies and help them become big. So we don't turn anyone away.
So it doesn't sound like you're only servicing your own products and your own line of manufactured goods, but you're essentially developing new streams of revenue by going out, packaging for other people, right? Shipping for other people. So that's all essentially going towards your overall enterprise value of dev manufacturing.
Correct. And again, that's our main business. We're 99% that. Listen, we only came out with this product because there are some people that come in that can't afford to pay for their own packaging, this and that. They're like, well, can't we just buy some of the products you manufacture for other people? Like, well, we're not the distributors. Unfortunately, we can't do that. Right. You call that company up directly and do it. Right. So it got to the point where we had store chains and stuff like, oh, we really want this. And but we can't do that. I'm like, okay, well, so then we started a separate business up. It's even though it's a kind of a sister company to Dev, it's not a company. We don't try to compete with people that we manufacture for. Sure. You don't ever see us advertising our product or nothing like that other than this show, coming in and just showing that we offer these type of stuff. Like this here, I want to show you. This here is a 50 milligram THC gummy. Mm-hmm. One gummy. In the legal markets, like where I live in Las Vegas, the strongest you can do is a 10 milligram gummy in a dispensary. So we're able to make stuff that's 5 times stronger than what you can buy in a dispensary because it's hemp-based.
Is this your product or is this?
That's ours.
That's your product.
Yep. We started this just because there are some customers that could not, they did not want to go through the whole white label insurance, all that stuff. So that's why we started this. And again, we're not out there trying to market this to make this a big brand. Our big deal is white label manufacturing for other companies.
When you go to Dev, you don't see 30 people in a call center trying to sell you 4 gummies. You see people making gummies for clients. Yeah, it makes total sense because some people don't want to start a new brand.
Let's talk about the white labeling. Tell me about that process for people who are listening, because there are people who are interested in this industry. They don't know where to start. But tell me about the white labeling process. Is it costly? What you actually do when you white label? right? And what you, how you generate revenue when you do white labeling for somebody, and what's the ultimate goal of that?
Yeah, so a lot of people are like, oh man, this is incredible. I've got my own stores. Like I've got one client, he has 10 stores. He's like, look, I want to do my own products because I'm buying all these other products and I know they're making a lot of profit margin from me. So I did my own products. I could push that, and then I'm not competing with my competitors down the street selling my customers the same products I'm selling. So that's one of the main reasons. Back when I opened my very first store 30 years ago in nutraceuticals, again, same thing, just a different product. I could sell whey protein made by EAS, or, but then I'm competing with all the prices of every store in town.
Right.
If I develop my own product, my own label, named after my store, whatever, now I take out the competition. Right. So my customers, if I give them a better quality product than say, and that's what I've always done, is I develop a better quality product. That way I can tell the customer, look, there's the EAS product. I got it right here on the shelf, but I've got a better quality product here for the same money, or maybe less. So now I'm not competing against my competitors for selling a product to my customers. I'm able to keep my customers in my stores buying that quality product. So that's one of the main reasons why like if you own your own store chain, you'd want to go to your own white label product.
Okay, so if let's say if Daulton and I had our own store and we came to you, what does that conversation sound like when we say, hey, Ron, we want you to help white label for us? We have our own storefront. We're thinking about creating our own products. Where do we start? And is it costly? Is it an extensive process? What can you do for us? And is it even feasible for two small business owners like Daulton and myself? Because there are people listening out there who's thinking the same thing. Yeah. I want to white label. I don't know what the process is like. I don't know if people like Ron can even help me. Maybe he can't, but can I afford it? What does that conversation sound like?
Of course, yeah. So I've set this up to where we can help the small guy for as little as $20,000 get started with their own product line. The biggest thing is getting a design. We've got to get some type of design, a name. You've got to have an LLC, of course, a business and stuff. Got to get some insurance. But we have business insurance for manufacturing, so we have that covered. You still have to have your own liability insurance. So there's a few things you do when you set up a business if you're not already up and going. But like you say, you guys are already up and going, so you already have that established. Yep. All we have to do is design a product label. Okay. We get that printed. Now we're ready to go into manufacturing. So now we decide, okay, do you want to go into Delta 8 segment or Delta 9?
Who's doing the manufacturing of the product?
We do it all. Okay. We take care of it all. We say, okay, if you want Delta 8, I recommend people go more Delta 9 because Delta 8 is only legal in half the states, where Delta 9 is legal in almost all the states. Yeah. Okay. So with the different laws over the last 5 years, things are changing. So we just make recommendations. But if you're here in Dallas, if you have 10 stores here in Dallas, you might want to do both. So we decide how many SKUs you're going to do. We get the labels printed, and then we go into manufacturing. The great thing about it is
we come up with the logos and the design yourselves.
We do that together. I can help you with that. Okay. And I have people that specialize in logo designs. Got it. You can get it done from India if you want. There's websites you go on to and have your own design for a couple $100.
AI will make 100.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, they all AI right now.
The labeling you can get from ChatGPT.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. Technology's changed so much, right? I used to, back in the day when I first started 30 years ago, I remember driving out to California from Las Vegas, and this company, they're like, we can do this really incredible design for you. So I get out there, and it's far from incredible. It's like some lines with some writing on it that says Pure Form or something like that. They wanted $30,000. I'm like, are you kidding me? Wow. This is great. Well, CBS paid. I'm like, I'm a little nutrition store owner. Come on, $30,000. What a wasted trip, right? I think I got a ticket going there and a ticket going back to. I was so mad, but anyways, yeah, terrible experience. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, it's so much easier to develop a actual label that's ready to go, and very inexpensive for cheap for printing as well. So what we do is we walk you through that whole process, because I've had 30 years of experience in it. Make it real easy. So you can have within a month's time, you can actually have your product in a bag like this on the shelf selling it, whether you sell it in your stores or you take it to the market and start wholesaling it to stores or to distributors. So depending on what your budget is, we sit down and I explain to you, hey, this is what you need. The number one thing is you have to have enough packaging. Because say you do some Amazon's a bad example because you still can't do hemp or THC on there. You do some marketing, website, maybe you get an influencer and they sell out real quick. Well, the problem here is now, hey, Ron, oh my gosh, the 10,000 bags that we bought, they're gone. Okay, well now we need more. I'm like, okay, well you only printed 10,000 bags, so now we got to wait 3 to 4 weeks for more bags.
Yeah.
Is that so? I always encourage, let's do 50 to 100,000 bags to start with. That way we have the bags there ready.
Prepare to be in the biz here.
Because in 2 to 3 days we can fill it.
So
with
they
product.
buy the bags, they give it to you. You essentially print it on there, you label it, you essentially prep it, you create the products, you put it in there, you package it up.
Yep.
Do you do the distribution as well, or you connect them with your distribution relationships?
That's their job. Their job, and I can tell them shows to go talk to distributors and stuff.
Yep.
They may have their sales team. I encourage them to go build your own sales team, depending on where you're trying to go. If you're using influencers and using the internet, that's one whole market. You're getting retail money.
That's right.
Plus minus what you pay retail. That's a huge market now.
And Facebook ads and stuff are starting to come on with specific agencies. We're getting a nod over there from our producer, Rico. We got to wrap it up here in a sec.
Yeah.
We could do a whole nother show about white label, because Ron, you're a wealth of knowledge. I'm just glad you're in Texas.
Well,
I'm just glad that you.
It's incredible. Yeah. So we just go through the whole process from A to Z, so we can help them fill the orders, so they don't have to set their own shipping out, have a whole other thing doing that. So we can ship out the orders, whether it's 10 orders a day or 500 orders a day. We got one customer, we send out 500, individual orders a day. So it could be a single order, or it could be pallets.
Y'all are the most vertically integrated I've seen company, other than growing it yourself.
That's right.
Which
that's one thing I noticed is that he does pretty much from A to Z minus the cultivation.
And cultivation is the hardest.
Yeah, and the cultivation is, in my opinion, it's one of the least profitable too. So
most risky.
Yeah,
right?
it's the most risky.
You got a snowstorm that falls down on it.
The country's been screwing farmers for like 100 years now, so it's like.
I'll say this: one of the most interesting products I've seen in a long time by Dev Manufacturing is the sleep aid. With that said, we are running out of time. But so I'm going to end this episode with one
You're going to take a couple of those sleep aids at 11 a.m. on a Wednesday?
I should.
You should.
I should. I could use the sleep. I'm not going to lie. It's so. I mean, I wish we had more time with you on the Sativa segment. But I want to ask you two things. One, what's the future look like for Dev Manufacturing? That's one. And how do you see the cannabis industry evolving?
So again, I'm optimistic. With all the craziness going on in the world, I still am optimistic. I believe greater always wins. I do believe that cannabis will be legalized. I don't think it's going to be a long time either. I really feel within the next 2 to 3 years, potentially, depending what happens with our whole government and stuff. I think it's coming quick. I think there's been so much, so many incredible stories of health and wellness through the whole industry, from seizures, just to name a few.
The nausea, cancer, that's what I'm most passionate about.
Yeah.
Cancer, I deal with cancer patients, anxiety, stress. I mean, you name it. There's just so many health issues. Myself, you brought the sleep aid there. I'm a high, operating type A personality.
You don't seem high energy at all.
Lots of companies, lots of stuff going on, besides having 2 young, beautiful children and a beautiful wife, I've got a lot going on. So it's hard for me to shut down at night.
Yeah.
So until a couple years ago, I hated taking drugs because I know they're very bad for me. But I'd have to take a Xanax and an Ambien and go to sleep. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that's never touched THC. Mm-hmm. I tried our sleep gummy. It knocked me out. I haven't touched his Ambien or a Xanax or drugs since then. Not just me, but thousands of my customers, same reports, incredible product. So again, I think with all these incredible nutraceutical, and again, this is a nutraceutical, this is a God-given product.
Right.
Hemp and cannabis are God-given.
Yeah. It's an ingredient.
Right, it's an ingredient. It's a raw material that comes from the earth, right? That's how it came. So this should be allowed, everyone should be allowed to take it, and it should be legalized. And we all know that, and that's what it is happening in a lot of states, but federally it needs to be legalized, and I really feel it's going to. With Dev, we're just here to grow and do what we can as best as we can, and make things grow and help people establish companies and grow and help other people become healthy.
Keeping people healthy and safe.
That's it.
Quality products for affordable prices is like American dream capitalism. Dev's doing it. I've seen it. Ron, look into the camera and tell people where they can get a hold of you, where they can get a hold of Dev, and appreciate you coming on the Sativa segment.
Yeah. You can reach me on my business line at 702-210-1405. I can sit down with you. No cost obligation. Just sit down and toss numbers and ideas around if you want. And if you want to carry products, just feel free to give me a call anytime. It's the 702-210-1405. That's my direct business line. You can go to devmanufacturing.com if you want to see our operation. Somewhat if you want to come in for a tour.
The video is pretty good online.
The video is pretty good, but when you're there, it's a lot better. You see it. And we manufacture. Look, we can do we do the gummies here in our Vegas. We still manufacture, the pain creams, tinctures. There's a lot of products we offer, about 200 different SKUs.
I was in the bathroom, but I heard you might be at MJ BizCon. So we'll have to see you over there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to be there. Yeah, so I'll be in Vegas for the 2 weeks anyway. So
we appreciate you coming on the Sativa segment.
Yeah,
don't tune in. It's going to be lit. Professor Cheng, myself, keep y'all entertained and having
thanks
fun.
for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
I really enjoyed
Congratulations on your new firm as well.
All right,
I will be a customer.
All right, sounds good.
Peace.
Thanks.